So I've been playing around with OpenClaw a lot recently, and I have done a lot of things with it. And today we will be learning how you can install OpenClaw on your AWS. For this, you need an AWS account. You can just go ahead and sign up on AWS, and from there, you just once you have the account, you can just come up and click on EC2. This is what we'll be using. It's like a dedicated server that we will deploy. It has its own isolated environment. The reason we are doing it in an isolated environment is that OpenClaw has a lot of power. It can access your root machine. That's why we don't install it on our machines. That is why people are buying a lot of Mac Minis these days to give it its own isolated environment. For my own setup, I have given it its own email, its own workspace to work on, its own Notion, everything that it can interact with, which I don't have to worry much about my core files and core things, right? That's how I've structured it. So you just go on EC2. For this, you have to just search EC2 and click on it. Once you are inside, you actually have to click a launch instance. I'll tell you the best practices, the best configurations through which you can get most out of it. So we'll name it our OpenClaw demo, right? We have to use our Ubuntu image from here. It will be by default selected, so you don't have to select anything from here. And the one thing that you need to change is change the instance. By default, it's 1 GB memory. We don't need that. We need a good instance. So for this, there is one specific instance which is available on free tier, and it gives you 8 GB of RAM. So M7i Flex Large is the instance. You go down and you create a new key pair. I have already created a key pair, so I'll just use my existing one, openclaw test demo. And if we go down, you can actually select the size of the disk. We get 30 GB free out of the box on AWS, and you have 6 months of free usage. So it is very easy that you can just set it up. What we have to do is we have to understand two things. When you have these crazy automations going on, the agents are working a lot of things like backups and stuff, it grows, and for that you need a proper storage, right? And that is why we are just giving it 30 at the moment, which is good enough for us to start. So we'll just launch instance. It will take a few minutes to launch. And I've noticed that AWS recently have the architecture and infrastructure is really fast. Earlier it took really longer time to actually initiate an instance, but now it's really quick. So we already have our instance ready. What we will do, we'll just click on it and it will take us to this page. We just have to click on connect and SSH client. I like SSH client. The reason for that is I have direct connection from my system to the remote server. What you can also do is connect EC2. There will be a button behind my video, like right there. So if we just move it here, and I'll just use SSH client. For that, we'll just open terminal and I'll just go to downloads because that's where my key is at the moment. So we do have to do two things. Run this command, chmod 400. That is the reason because it should be not be available publicly while it's on SSH. So no one else should be able to see its content while our connection is in progress. So we'll just do that and just copy this connection command and just place it here. This way we will be able to log into our EC2 instance, right? Now that we are inside our EC2 instance, before installing it, we have to do two steps. One is sudo apt update. What it will do, it will bring our machine, it will get the latest updates of all the packages and everything on the latest version. And then we'll do the second command, which is apt upgrade, sudo apt upgrade, and we'll actually have to do that so that our image that was downloaded, or like we use the existing image, we haven't done the latest one. So we just bring our instance to latest versions. So sudo apt upgrade. So first we did update and second we did upgrade, right? So we'll just wait a few minutes for this, and once it's done we will be able to just go ahead and go to install openclaw on it. Before, while it's installing, we can just talk about how you can actually use it. You can actually use it in a lot of different ways. The way I have set it up is I have my Obsidian is kind of like storage viewer, like empty file viewers, right? And we just store your knowledge base on the system, and then you can sync that with your own uh, laptop, right? That way the server, all the records the server has, your system also has that, and you have your latest records. You can also sync with Notion. I have both set up, so it works best for me. I'm doing a lot of video ideas, a lot of deployments and all that kind of stuff is happening through openclaw at the moment, and I want it to be really there, the actual assistant that it can be. And it, why it is very important, very powerful, is that openclaw itself has really good semantics, how things needs to be structured, and it can reason of what, why a specific command failed, can retry and try to achieve what you have asked it to do, so right? With regular LLMs, it's just they just give you an answer. They just don't do much. They don't, because they don't have the capability. Although this uses those LLMs, but it has the layer on top of that, so that it can interact, go back and forth, and give you the final result, rather than just saying I agree with you. It reasons, right? That's why it is important, right? So I think by now our instance is upgraded. What we will do, we'll just copy this command and just paste it here, and it will start install. Okay, so openclaw has been installed now, and now what we need is we need to get access to openclaw. But if we write that command, it will not work. So what we will do is we will write one more command, source, and it will be dot bash rc. What it will do, it will load our terminal with the latest everything that's available, right? And if we write openclaw now, we'll be able to see that it's there, right? So what we need to do now is set up openclaw. So let's do openclaw on board. By default, when you install openclaw, it will automatically get you started on this specific window, right? So you now have to accept this warning, because openclaw is so much powerful, and they are giving you an upfront warning that it can do run bash commands and execute different type of commands on your system. So you are responsible for yourself. So yes, we are. Then we will do quick start, and from here, what I like is to set up open router. If I show you open router, so open router is good in terms of that you have access to a lot of LLMs upfront, right? So if we go in settings and go into API keys, right, and from here you can create I'll create open claw demo, right? And I'll just create it. Let's copy this command and then place it here. Now we have pasted this command, and it has the access to the model. Which model I like? For now, I will say Minimax is the one that has low cost, and I've seen really good results out of it. Claude is unbeatable, to be very honest, but it is very expensive. I'll show you my logs that I spent $2 for just one single request. It is so much expensive, and the reason for that is Claude is also like OpenClaw is actually sending a lot of information to your LLMs, and they're charging based on tokens, and Claude is $25 to $30 per million tokens, and whereas this Minimax is only $1 per million tokens, and the input is I think 30 cents per million tokens, right? So what I'll do, I'll just go down. There you go. Minimax M2.5. That's what has given me good results. But you're free to interact with any model. It has given me good and decent results. I have tried Google Flash as well. It is also good, but the results Minimax has given me are more better for this specific use case. One thing that I would say is, if you want the minimum set, like you don't want to pay for anything and you just want to play around, you can just use Open Router Auto. It will be on the top. There you go. By default, it's Open Router Auto, because that way Open Router routes the request to a specific LLM based on complexity, right? And most of the time it will be, for small use cases, it will be just GPT Nano. But I don't write the output and all the results, because GPT Nano doesn't think that much, and it is really long results that it gives you. We'll just go ahead and select Minimax for now. You can also select Google Gemini 3 Flash as well. It's just $3 per million tokens. There is the important thing. You actually have to set up, either you can access it through Telegram, WhatsApp, Discord. I have set it up with Discord, but for this video we will use just Telegram or WhatsApp. I will just use Telegram. Discord is kind of a little bit more complex in terms of, if you say it to be, because you actually have to have your channels properly authenticated and all that kind of stuff. So we'll just go ahead with Telegram and then just add our key for grab my token from bot father. Let's create a new bot. I have added a new bot here, and it is asking me what I want to name my bot. I'll say, that's good. This worked. Now you actually have to find a very unique name. Now we have the token here. You actually have to keep this token very secure. Add it over here, and then the Telegram username. So you just need to add your username or your ID. Your ID, you can get it directly from raw data bot. So I have added that. I'll not configure skills for now. I'll just skip for now, and then once you will actually have to restart it, right? And now we can directly talk with our bot. I'll do this later. We can directly talk through our Telegram. So for this, we actually have to go in and open our bot. I'll search for this. I actually have to search my bot in here as AliClaw bot. Start. And right now our instance is started, so I'll just say, hi, I'm myclaw, and it's in my identity, right? That's how you set up openclaw on EC2 server with minimum setup. And if you want the cost efficient solution, so EC2 will be free. That's one. Number two is EC2 will be free for 6 months. Number two is, if you want to use the minimum cost or no cost solution, you can go for Open Router Auto, which will use Nano most of the time. Open API GPT-5 Nano, right? That's what you can use, which is free, almost free. It's like cents. And you can set up your Telegram. We will have another video on how to set up Discord with your openclaw, and to see how you can actually do it. I'll give you a step-by-step process how you can actually get that, how you are actually going there. So yeah, follow along. Looking forward to seeing you as well. Have a good day. Bye bye.